G'day Internet, Max right here, and this is a trade alert. A very exciting time for Bitcoin here. Bitcoin is in free fall. You can see it here. We've got, with the exception of this little guy here, we've got about 20 hours, maybe just shy of just a free falling Bitcoin price, bouncing perfectly off this line of resistance here. You'll see, yeah, you can see it coming here. I'm going to click back. Oh no, that works, as long as I'm not covering it. Yep. You can see we've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 touches on this resistance line here. We've got the base around the 31,000, and we've got a perfect descending triangle here. Now, typically a descending triangle will break to the downside. So that is kind of the only little negative point about this trade at the moment I can see. But other than that, pretty much a whole bunch of other things are telling me that now is a great time to go long on Bitcoin. I'm going to wait for this free fall to finish. I want to see a few green hourly candles. But you'll notice, let's go and take a look at some of the arguments we were doing, we were making with regards to this Bitcoin move. Okay. Step one, we have to start with Wyckoff. The Wyckoff accumulation pattern, we've identified this. I've said this in the last few streams, but I haven't pointed it out. What have I said? I said Bitcoin loves, absolutely loves, to repeat patterns, okay? And I went ahead and put in some old patterns here, which I drew at the time, and I've since deleted because I don't want the chart to look cluttery. But Bitcoin loves to repeat patterns. So this is the March 2020 sell-off, the Corona collapse, and we come back, and then what does Bitcoin do? It puts in 3 symmetrical triangles with just perfect execution. And so it just repeated the pattern. Symmetrical triangle, symmetrical triangle, symmetrical triangle. And it just became really, really easy to trade. Then we came in here and it put in 3 consecutive bull flags. You can see them right here. Bull flag 1, bull flag 2, bull flag 3. What's the difference between a bull flag and a symmetrical triangle? Well, the bull flag, it continues to make lower lows. So this line has a downward trajectory, this one has a downward trajectory, this one has a downward trajectory. You go back to the symmetrical triangles and it's not putting in lower lows, it's putting in higher lows, and you get this convergence in the triangle. And so you saw it here, you saw it here, you saw it here. Okay, Bitcoin loves to repeat patterns. Now, one that's very, very difficult to draw, Wyckoff pattern. This big purple box here, this was the top and it signified the Wyckoff pattern. Let's go to Wyckoff right here. And is it up or down? I think it's down. Where are we? This was the Wyckoff sell-off. And you'll see, I won't go through it, but this whole pattern right here, it represented the top. We came up, we made a top with the Wyckoff pattern, and then we collapsed back down. That is this area right here. We came up, we did a Wyckoff pattern, we collapsed down. Okay, back to Wyckoff. Now let's check out Wyckoff accumulation. There's actually 2 different variations of it. There's one here and there's one here. But to me, it looks like we're kind of playing out this one. So what's happening with Wyckoff accumulation? If we compare this pattern, what I want you to notice is this spring, this lower low, when Bitcoin went down to 28,000, it broke a new low resistance. And you can see how this is kind of the inverse. Remember when we were at the top, I think we had a top at 58,000, we had a top at 60,000, and we had one more top at 65,000 before eventually it just went away and crashed down. This is the inverse, right? So there was like these lows, and the ultimate one came here when Bitcoin went down to 28,000, breaking the 2 prior resistances. Now with this one, I think we went to 30,000 first, and then this one only went to 32,000. So they kind of came in reverse order here. But if you check out this Wyckoff pattern, I think what's happening is that 28K represented this moment here, and now we're going to come up, and exactly as predicted, I pointed this out here, and I said, listen, we're going to come up, and then we're going to come back down and test these 2 lows. We're going to fight with it for a little bit before we head up. So what did I do? I went ahead and drew, at the time, this squiggly red line. I'm going to go back. We'll go to a 4-hour candle here. And here it is. Give me a little more. Okay, and this is kind of the rest of the Wyckoff pattern. Now, I made this video when we were here. And so I said, suggesting it's going to come back down and test these two blue lines before we head up, have a zigzag in the middle, battle with this line of resistance, and then the professional trader, of which I am not, the professional trader actually waits to here. And this is the confirmation of the breakout of this pattern. But I'm going to have a little flutter down here because this is something, it's a rookie. I'm making a rookie mistake here. I know I'm making a rookie mistake, but that's okay. I'm willing to do it. What we're going to do, okay, sorry for that interruption. My boy just brought a whole bunch of friends home and my house turned into a zoo for a few minutes, but back at it. So I drew this red squiggly line, which is just, a very quick guesstimation at the rest of the Wyckoff pattern here, just zigzagging on up before battling with, eventually breaking through 43,000 as confirmation for the trade. However, as I said, I'm willing to make a rookie mistake, and the rookies try and catch the lows. Rookie, you shouldn't try and catch the low, even though that's what I'm about to do. You shouldn't try and catch the low. It's not what you should do. You should wait for confirmation of the breakout. Buy up here at 43. It's a much higher percentage chance you're going to make successful trades on the breakout. Now, because this thing can turn around and lay over and go south. So just so you know, I am making a rookie mistake here for all the public to see, but I am going to try and capture some of this low down here, okay? And one of the reasons I'm doing it is because I can set a really tight stop loss, okay? If this breaks down below these two blue lines, arguably you could even say right there, I should pull out of the trade and stop because this pattern is invalidated. But I'm going to be able to give myself a little bit of generosity. I'm going to go below that wick of 28,000, right? So my stop loss is going to be set closer to, what is it? 28,284. Oh, so what that low is not 28,000. I might go below that though, because on some exchanges, the low was 28,000. It looks like on this exchange, the low was 28,700. So I might set that low a little bit lower. I'll take a look when I finish this video. But I'm very, very heartened by this play out. Now, there's another capture here. This, I've said so many times over the last few videos, the last 3 months have been a totally of Bitcoin price action and technical analysis. It's just been fake out after fake out after fake out. And that's kind of the story of Wyckoff, by the way. There's so many fake outs in there. But look at this beautifully strong line here. And we had a breakout. And it was a fake out, turned around and rolled over. So I'm hyper cautious of fake outs at the moment because Bitcoin is in fake out season, okay? And so I'm just mindful of this now. But nonetheless, my trade, we can see Bitcoin price plummeting. We're on the 4 hourly now, so there's like 4 candles instead of what we were talking about before. But here's what I'm looking for. Oh, there's two more pieces of evidence I want to talk about. What's the date? June 25th, Friday. It's the last Friday of the month. If I head over to this chart, I've shown you guys so many times. You guys know it. You're bored with it. I'll go to the daily here. And the last Friday of the month, that's these vertical blue lines. What is it? It's when the futures and options expire. Billions of dollars worth of futures and options expire, usually, although the volume has been down lately. But you can see, very typically, more obvious back here is that within a day or two of the last Friday of the month, we get a low. Pretty close to the middle of the month, we get a high. Right here on the day of the last Friday, we got a low. Middle of the month, we got a high. 2 days after the last Friday, we got a low. And then we got a high even down here, even though we're in a massive bull market here, price came back and the low occurred like 1 or 2 days before the Friday. Right, so we've got the 30-day cycle working in our favor here. I love the fact we've got the 30-day cycle working in our favor. So we've come on down. Look, again, middle of the month, we had a high. We've come on down. We're at the end of the month. Your futures actually expire in a few hours, but that's all. It's a little bit finicky. But what I'm watching here is this price. And what I want to see, kicking back to this chart, I want to see the price of Bitcoin just continue to fall. I'll make it the 4 hour. And come back down here and bounce off one of my 2 blue lines here. My 2 blue lines represented this low here, and this low. Okay, so it was an even 30K, and I think this is 31K. If it comes down and bounces off either of those, I'll wait for a little bit of confirmation. It'll come down, it'll bounce off. I'll look for an hour, a few green candles to come up, and probably somewhere around 31.5, 32, or maybe it'll come down and bounce off the bottom line and somewhere around 31, maybe 3,700. I'm going to jump into this long trade, right? And I will get my buy price somewhere around here. I'm going to set my stop loss somewhere around the 28,000, maybe a little bit lower. I'll check what the other exchanges had as the low. And then we'll see. This will be an interesting battle against this downward trajectory line. If we don't break through this and bounce off, I probably won't exit the trade. I won't exit the trade until it's proven invalid, because it might come up, bounce off this, come back down to here, bounce off the blue line again and come up. So I'm probably not going to exit this trade until it breaks below this 28,000 mark. So I'm going to be in this for the long haul. And again, what I love about this trade, the stop loss is set kind of close. But when am I selling? Listen, if it comes up here, if it bounces off here and comes back down and sets a new low, I might take some profits here off the table. But ultimately, what I would love for it to do is to come through, do exactly what Wyckoff says it's going to do, and just zigzag up and down, battle this for a little bit, and break up to the north side, in which case I think we're on our way to all-time highs. It might take 6 months to play out, but all-time highs and $100,000 Bitcoin. And so when you look at the risk reward for this trade, it's just, I mean, it's absolutely epic. Well, right now, I think it's set at let's see, I'll bring it in. This is set at 110,000, right? And the risk reward on this trade is, I made it disappear. The risk reward is like 50 to 1. So if you get a chance, like if I hand you a dice and say, well, better yet, I give you a coin. Say, flip the coin. Every time you get heads, you owe me $1. Every time you get tails, I owe you 1,000. How many times do you want to flip that coin and make that bet? You just take that bet all day long. And the risk reward for this trade is so sexy. I'm not even saying it's better than a 50-50. The trade's going to win. Right? It's you know, there's with the Wyckoff thing playing out, last Friday playing out, I think it's a better than 50% chance this is going to work. All right? It's going to be a winning trade. Better than 50%. But even if it was only a 20% chance of this trade working out, I would still take it because of the risk reward is so sexy for me. Okay? So I'm just keeping my eye on this, continuing to watch it drop. I want to see it go down and drop and bounce off one of those blue lines. That would be absolute perfection for me. And there's one other thing. What's the other thing that I've been telling you guys the last few days that I'm really looking for confirmation? It is the Bitcoin dominance. Let me kick this back to the daily. And what did I say I was looking for? I said, in order for the Bitcoin price to run, we have to have the altcoiners demoralized. And the way we get confirmation is that is several days of the Bitcoin dominance above this resistance zone in the purple box, which is like, puts it at like 46, 47. And we have now had 4 days of Bitcoin dominance up here. And this W pattern right here, the W pattern, it's an absolutely picture perfect W pattern, by the way. The way W patterns work is you draw the neckline on the W, you get the height at the highest point, which would be here. And you say when this breaks out, and the fact if it goes up, confirms on this line and takes off, we're looking at the Bitcoin dominance heading up to 54. That's how you would trade the Bitcoin, the W on the Bitcoin chart, right? I think this pattern just played out exactly perfect. I couldn't have hoped for it to play out any better than it did. It was just picture perfect, and it was exactly as I predicted. Remember, I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. Up here, I was saying, guys, I think this epic Bitcoin run is over. It's going to be altcoin season, and I transferred into altcoins. I've made that public right here on the YouTube channel, and we just had an epic run. Bitcoin dominance, so the inverse of saying that is altcoin dominance went from 30 all the way down. What did we hit? We hit 40. Bitcoin went from 30 to 60. Sorry, altcoin dominance went from 30 to 60, right? Altcoins just outperformed Bitcoin by a huge margin over this period. Way back here, I pointed out this W. I pointed out this line right here. And I talked about the battle right here. I said, most likely when it bounced off this long-term resistance line, I said Bitcoin dominance has probably finished falling. And we're going to go into a Bitcoin season, and that's exactly what we did. This is the chart that tells us what has to happen. But should we be in Bitcoin? Should we be in altcoin? And I think this W pattern, this confirmation breaking out above this resistance line, putting 4 candles closing above this. If we get a weekly close above here, even better. And we'll get this. So this trade is just setting up to be absolutely perfect. I couldn't have hoped for anything better, seriously. I mean, what was the one thing that I said I was a little bit concerned about? The descending triangle. With the exception of the descending triangle, I'm just seeing so many things pointing towards this as being a go. For the long-term investors, it gets even better. Well, it gets even better in a few things. All right, we're on the Bitcoin dominance. That's the wrong chart. That's not helping us. Let's jump over here and look at our indicators. What have we seen here? Let's check out. So the RSI, we have not seen a trend break, the long-term trend break of the RSI. That would have been another great indicator to see. But I do see a little trend line forming here, at least taking us in the right direction. Higher lows on the RSI, bringing us in the right direction. Similarly, we have what looks like, oh maybe not, on the money flow here, we have, no, this is a new low from that. So that's not confirmed. And this stochastic is going to be really sexy. Let's take a look at it. We see a reversal. We dipped into the black, maybe far enough, maybe not. Generally, I like to see it to come all the way down. And then the confirmation of the trend reversal is when we skyrocket back through into the purple zone. We dipped into the black and we have crossed over, and it's good but not great on the stochastic RSI on the daily. We still have not got our buy signal on the hash ribbons, but I would not expect that at the low. Usually there's a little bit of confirmation waiting for that. And the hash ribbons is kind of all jacked up at the moment because of the Chinese transfer of hashing power from China to the US. And we see the MACD has had huge improvements lately, although it just crossed negative again. So all in all, I think the indicators kind of was a bit of a wash. I think some good, some whatever. Stochastic flipping back, that was cool. Although I'm a little confused. Why is the stochastic flipping back? I mean, we've just had 2-3 days straight of red candles and it's flipping back. Now it is an early indicator, so that's quite interesting that that's flipped back already, even though we haven't seen any green at all. So that will be interesting. And we are on the daily, I guess, so it's just really 1 day of red. So maybe that will flip back down and go below the black, which is perfectly acceptable. So guys, there's a lot of indicators here, a lot of things. We found confluence in some, we found some things pushing back, but the ones that I really wanted to have happen, the Bitcoin dominance staying above its trend line, really, that one was a big one. That was important to me. And the Wyckoff distribution playing out as we predicted, that was a big one. And the most important one of all is I think we can get into a trade with a very tight stop loss and a very, very big upside. So I'll be keeping my eyes on it. You know what I'm looking for. You can play along. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think, let's get out of here. Will you be entering this trade? Let me know in the comments. I'm fascinated. If so, what's your entry point going to be? What's your stop loss going to be? What's your take profits going to be? Let me know your strategy in the comments below so that we can all learn from each other. And B, it's just good to write these things down for you so that you don't get scared out of a trade. You don't hold on longer than you should have. You make the money you wanted to make and then you get out of the trade. It's good to hold yourself accountable to that. So let me know, did you like this comment? Did you like this trade alert? Did you like this video? So go ahead, like the video, hit that subscribe button, and please do me a favor, leave me a comment below. It really helps the algorithm. Greatly appreciate it, and I will see you guys soon. Take care.